On a sliver of rock between French cliffs and a sheet of Mediterranean glass, there's a city-state where wealth isn't a headline, it's the weather. Here, money doesn't shout. It whispers through marble lobbies, idles in V12 engines, and sails past at 80 meters with a helipad on top. Welcome to Monaco, the richest square mile on Earth. You're watching Lux Lab exploring wealth at its peak. Want more? Subscribe, drop a like, and ring the bell. Monaco's real trick isn't showmanship, it's engineering of laws, land, and lifestyle calibrated over a century and a half to attract the world's capital and the people who command it. Long before the super yachts, there was a fortress on a cliff and a family that refused to leave. In 1297, the Grimaldis seized the Rock of Monaco, beginning a dynasty that still reigns today. Across the centuries, Monaco survived as a tiny sovereign outpost, balancing bigger powers with careful treaties and commerce. But the modern story starts in the 1860s, when Prince Charles III and his partners placed a bold bet: transform a sleepy promontory into a destination of glamour. The Casino de Monte Carlo opened, grand hotels rose, and a new company, the Société des Bains de Mer, wove hospitality, culture, and entertainment into a single brand. The message was simple: come here to live beautifully and differently. Then came the second reinvention, land itself. When you only have 2 square kilometers, you make more. Monaco pushed seaward with engineering projects that turned water into a dress. First the quays and sea defenses, then the Fontvieille district in the late 20th century, and now Maritera, an eco-minded extension that adds parks, promenades, and ultra-prime homes to a coastline already drawn in gold. In Monaco, the map isn't fixed, it appreciates. Underneath the architecture is policy, the clean, legible promise that turned the principality into a magnet for global earners. Monaco levies no personal income tax on residents, with narrow historical exceptions. There's no wealth tax, no annual property or council tax, and everyday life runs on value-added tax aligned with France. For entrepreneurs, investors, and athletes, the rules are clear and the frictions are few. Pair that with stability, safety, and service levels most cities only talk about, and you get a place where capital feels at home. For a country barely larger than New York's Central Park, the output is staggering. Recent figures put the economy above 9 billion euros, growing even in years others call slow. Depending on who's counting and how, GDP per person ranks at or near #1 in the world. Different yardsticks, same story. Concentrated prosperity, engineered at national scale. Where does the money sleep? In square meters that behave like blue-chip assets. Resale apartments average in the stratosphere, and new builds climb higher still. Avenue Princess Grace is whispered about by brokers as a synonym for name your price. Land is scarce by design, demand is global, and the skyline is a balance sheet. Tour Odeon's Sky Penthouse, Maritera's waterfront villas, Belle Époque facade, reborn with 21st century interiors. In Monaco, real estate isn't shelter, it's a statement of belonging. Who calls this home? Industrialists and innovators, discrete dynasties and headline names? Think of captains of retail and energy, owners of football clubs, world-class art collectors, and Formula One drivers who treat the circuit as their commute. Charles Leclerc is Monegasque by birth. Many of his rivals base themselves here for the privacy, the climate, and yes, the taxes. The population is small, but the Rolodex is global. Monaco's calendar is a choreography of speed and spectacle. Each May, the Grand Prix threads 200-mile-per-hour missiles through streets a bus could barely pass, turning hairpins and tunnels into a crown jewel racetrack. Come September, the Monaco Yacht Show converts Port Hercule into a floating salon of billion-euro hardware, glass, teak, and titanium, arranged like jewelry on the water. These aren't just events, they're annual audits of who has arrived and how they arrive. The lifestyle tax is paid in the open, and gladly. A casual coffee may cost what dinner does elsewhere, and the boutiques read like a roll call of haute couture, Hermès, Dior, Fendi, Elie Saab, and a dozen more within a few elegant steps of the casino. Michelin-starred rooms serve Riviera produce with palace-grade theatrics. Beneath the Hôtel de Paris lies a legendary wine cellar, deep as a myth and curated like a museum. Across the harbor, the Yacht Club of Monaco, shaped like a sleek, terraced ship, hosts regattas and receptions, where membership is as coveted as mooring during race week. Even the infrastructure signals rarity. Berths in Port Hercule command premiums during the Grand Prix that can make a banker blink. Private banks and family offices line quiet streets, while jewelers and watchmakers showcase complications you won't find in a display case anywhere else. Security is discreet and omnipresent. The streets are spotless, and the air hums with V12 engines on Sunday and electric limousines the rest of the week. If you choose to rent instead of buy, prepare accordingly. Prime two-bedroom apartments can list in the 5 figures per month and often beyond. That price doesn't just purchase space, it purchases certainty of service, of safety, of being exactly where you want to be at the precise moment you want to be there. So what's the secret? It isn't the roulette tables, the super yachts, or even the sunshine. It's clarity, clear rules, clear safety, clear service levels, a clear promise that if you can pay the entry cost, the machinery hums around you, efficiently, beautifully, predictably. That's the true luxury. The yachts and watches are just how it photographs. On this rock, wealth isn't a finish line. It's an ecosystem, a tightly drawn circle where capital, policy, and spectacle reinforce each other. The result is a city-state that manufactures desirability the way others manufacture cars. Welcome to Monaco, where the richest square mile on Earth keeps finding ways to make itself richer. If mega wealth fascinates you, private islands, fortified bunkers, sleek jets, secret retreats, smash that like and subscribe to Lux Lab. See you next time, my friends.